Hey, everybody. How you doing? How you doing? Well, I see we got a few people here. I'm not used to that. I'm used to starting out with just me. Excuse me a second, guys. Now that I have to start talking, I seem to have a frog in my throat. Maybe the frog would like some coffee. Ah, there you go. Almost. Can everybody hear me okay? Just want to make sure that I'm getting out there. I don't know what happened to my voice. It's not a good way to start off. But it is what it is. And let me say hi to everybody. Starting out with Josie. How you doing? Jody, how are you? Everybody seems to like the music. I kind of like it too. It's kind of adopted that as a theme song. Papa Joe W's in the house. How you doing? Tim Weaver, good to see you. Doug, good to see you. And Gary, Brand Ariels, how are you, my friend? It is Thursday already. I know it doesn't seem like it. I don't know where the hell the week went to, but pretty soon it'll be almost a week from spin up. It seems like it was a 9-month ramp up of everybody anticipating it. Then it came and went in about 3 seconds, and now it's almost a week over. Unbelievable. Barry, how you doing, Barry? Good to see you. Tomas, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And who else we got? That's it. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Hear me loud and clear. Very, very good. Good. Peter Carroll's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Don't be shy. Come on. I sent some emails out for my little panel, and don't be shy. Maybe I don't know why my throat is strange, but on Monday I bit my tongue. Have you ever done that? Have you ever been chewing a mouthful of something and just chomped down and bit the hell out of your tongue? Well, I did that on Monday, and it hurt so bad I could hardly talk on Tuesday and yesterday. Today it doesn't hurt as much. It's not bad. It's healing, but I mean, I've lived a long time and I have never done that. I've never, ever bit my tongue that hard where I actually had a blood. I know this is going to gross everybody. I actually had a blood blister. You know how when you pinch your finger, sometimes you get a blood blister and then you got to break it? Well, I had to do that on the side of my tongue, and oh God. So now I've become a very careful eater. I have, I'm chewing much more slowly now. And I don't know if that's good or not, because if you're conscious of where your tongue is, you're going to bite it every time. It's gotta be something that you do unconsciously, because you can't keep track of moving that thing around consciously. So hopefully I'll be able to forget that little episode. Craig Yarker, AKA Mad Kiwi. How you doing, my friend? See you're using your other account tonight. Dalton Drone and Discovery Zone. Started typing something and deleted it. Welcome to this little Thursday get together, Mr. Dalton. I've seen you around. I don't think you've been in here before because you're not. You don't have your cape on, so we're going to go ahead and give you a moderator's wrench while we're at it and get that out of the way. Mr. Crowley, Sean, how you doing? Night Train, hey, Night Train. Everybody's in the house. Good. Anybody like to come in here and keep me a little company on the panel? Would be nice. I'll tell you what, I sent out a bunch of emails with some links in it, and I don't know if they didn't, if people didn't get them. Gary, you should have gotten one. Did you get it? Kiwi says, hang on, going to flip over. Oh, okay. We'll wait for you. Let us know. So did any of you guys in the chat here, did any of you guys get to go to Spin Up? Oh, here's Gary coming in. All right. There he is. Man, Gary has pity on me sitting here all by myself trying to figure out what to say. So we'll go ahead and bring Gary in.
Yeah, I'm not going to leave you there all alone.
I could be like Spike and do an 18-hour live stream solo.
Solo.
Yeah, I'd be. I'd have no voice. I'd have no voice by the end of that. It'd be. It'd be ugly. I'd be playing a lot of music.
Very good. How was your week, other than biting your tongue?
I bit my tongue, man. I'll tell you, that just kills you. It just puts a crimp in your whole life. It was like having my tonsils out. I don't normally eat ice cream, but that's about all I could stand to eat. Everything else was killing me, so I ate ice cream on on Tuesday. But I figured, damn, the way it was going, I said I'll never be able to. I couldn't talk. It hurt too much to talk. I figure I could never do a live stream with my tongue like that.
Yeah,
so how you been? What have you been up to?
Oh, I did a little. I did a lot of flying last week, and put 3 videos up this week. So yeah, it's been busy enough.
I'm reading the chat. Oh, Mad Kiwi decided he didn't want to be graveyard. Are you logged in twice, man? That's great. If you do that, I get double the watch time. I don't need watch time so much as I need subscribers now. I've and I don't ever you don't ever hear me begging for subscribers. I don't ever do that. In my videos, you don't see me sitting in there, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. And I don't do that. I figure somebody wants to subscribe, they subscribe. But I'm getting, I think at last count I had, was it 862? So 862. 862. So.
And I'm at 832.
832.
Yeah. So I'm about 30 behind you.
Oh.
But here's the thing. I was checking the other day the analytics, and 76% of my views come from non-subscribers. So do I really need subscribers? No, what I need is viewers.
Well, you need subscribers if you want to get to that that level where YouTube finally takes you seriously. And that's really the only reason that I care. I'm not going to make any money at this, but it's just, when you have the 1,000 subscribers and you have the watch hours, a lot of features of YouTube open up to you that you don't have.
Yeah.
When you don't have, and I'd like to get. I can't complain. I've been at it since December last year, so it's not quite a year yet. So I really can't complain. And I pick up 1 to 2. Seems like 1 to 2 subscribers, stragglers a day. So at this rate, I'll get there one of these days. But it's interesting. It's interesting how it works. I see when you go into some of these live streams, there was one woman or girl that had thousands of subscribers, and kind of a hot sounding name. Let me just put it to you that way, a suggestive sounding name.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and clicked to see what her channel looked like, and she had no content, 0, not a video, not anything, but she had thousands of subscribers.
So she just did it on name?
Yeah. Wow. Just and a hot looking picture. And people subscribe to nothing. So and I look sometimes at the thumbnails on some of these videos, and if they got a hot woman in a bikini, millions of views for a stupid video. You put that thumbnail with the hot bikini broad in it, millions of views.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
But that's the way it is. I mean, I understand it. I'm as guilty of clicking on those things as everybody else, I want to see the hot broad in a bikini, I don't deny that. Everybody does.
I put videos up to entertain people, and when they comment, I always have a reply. I started doing that lately. That in itself is, it can be time consuming, but you have to interact with people, let them know that, you appreciate them watching, and you know, you get some feedback as to what people might want to see.
Oh yeah, yeah. I always read. I don't always respond to comments,
Yeah.
but I always read them, and I always make sure that I heart them. You know, to let people know that I've read them.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you happen to have an extra 138 subscribers you're not using or sticking around.
Yeah. I see Paul from Phantom Hodges Drone has just joined us.
Yeah, how you doing, Paul? And
he's my flying buddy. We've flown together a few times.
And Joe's Smokehouse and Barbecue, man, I'm hungry. That just sounds good. And I think I want to give him a blue wrench too, because he's new and stands out like a sore thumb. So we'll take care of that. We got got 24 people. Holy cow. I think that's a record for me. What did I do? Holy mackerel. Yes, I'm looking at wow.
That's probably all those billboards you put up all over the country.
Well, maybe, you know, and I offer rewards, you know, to people. You know, I'll pay $10 an hour if you watch me on YouTube. You know,
all the big time giveaways.
Yeah. Oh man, so somebody earlier asked me if I've been doing much flying, and I really haven't. We've had just a couple of nice mornings, but the problem is the ground has been so wet. So I figured, well, you know, I don't have anything to do. Let me just wait until it dries out, and by the time it dries out, the wind's blowing 20 miles an hour. So, hey, Rodney Bell's in the house. How you doing, Rodney? Good to see you, man. I just stopped by. EBR is here. Hot broads, brought him in. He says the mentioning of hot broads brings us all in here. I ought to maybe I'll just have a segment. What I want to do is,
you know, it's probably because I got another button undone. I'm showing a little cleavage here. You know.
No, I don't know I don't think it's you or me, Gary. But you know what might be fun, and I don't know if it's a copyright issue, but it might be fun just to make a copy of all the really ridiculous clickbait thumbnails that people put up and have a feature in the show. Just show, you know, the top 10 most ridiculous, like David Letterman always did his top 10, you know, maybe the top 10 biggest come on thumbnails that actually have no content and nothing to offer.
I used to like his stupid human tricks.
Yeah.
Guy's got a great big steel bladed fan and stops it with his tongue.
Well, you know, they call that the Darwin Awards. You know, have you heard about that?
Yeah.
The Darwin Awards.
Chlorinating the gene pool.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. There was a movie. Oh, what the hell was the name of that movie?
Was that 10,000 Ways to Die in the West or something?
No, that was that was a McFarland movie. That was a strange movie.
I don't think I ever saw it.
Oh, it was funny. This was called Idiocracy was the name of the movie. Idiocracy. And it was the story. I'm the only one in the world watching in a Burger King drive-thru. Jared Elliott. Hey, man, say hi to Burger King. I'll take a Whopper and supersize those fries for me, guy, okay? These guys come in here, they're talking about food. I'm hungry.
Right at dinner time.
And David Smith's in the house. Hello, David. How are you doing, my friend? Wow, I'm beginning to get a grumpy vlogger size crowd in here. This is really something. Although I don't see him.
Yeah, this is
or Mel,
22 watching now,
or Spike, or Mike, or any of the old original guys that used to come in here all the time. I guess I scared them away. Here comes somebody. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I gotta do this. I gotta do it right. Okay. Hang on. Hang on. Because otherwise, he wouldn't forgive me.
Sounds like art country. Art Carlson.
It's Art Carlson.
Yeah.
Art, nobody gets an intro like you get on this show.
Oh, that's great.
Only for people that have been to Spin Up. You sure you'll talk to those of us peons and lower class people that didn't get to Spin Up and hobnob with the big wigs.
Yep. And win great prizes.
You're unbelievable. You're unbelievable.
You won the Robo Master, eh?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't win the drone too.
Yeah. That would have been nice, but that would have been, kind of like, no, that's mine. I won it. No.
Mike Kelly's in the house. Hey, Mike, how are you? And Nemo. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen Nemo before, but there's somebody named Nemo who said hello.
Coast to Coast Drones, Drone Therapy.
I didn't see Coast to Coast. Bill Thomas around?
No, I see Tomas.
No, Tomas is here, but you said Coast to Coast Drones. I didn't see him.
No,
well,
Rodney,
Nemo seems to know everybody. We'll go ahead and give Nemo a blue wrench so he can be one of the crowd. Nemo, you got it. Behave yourself.
Art, I have to tell you something. I was at the grocery store yesterday and I was loading the car up and I put a bag of onions in there and I just started laughing. My wife said, "What are you laughing at?" And I told her your story about the
right
undershirt.
Yeah, the mesh undershirt made got free with the bag of onions. That was like one of the first jokes I wrote.
Oh, that was classic.
Yeah, I saw those at a clothing store and I thought, man, there's a joke right there. I had a black one, I had a blue one, and a red one. And I always wore loud colored outfits, shirts with different colors, and they'd say Blue Zone on it. I had one with tools all over it. Yeah, I even had a checked one, a black and white checked one. I almost felt like a jockey from Churchill Downs. Yeah.
So tell me, Art, what I've seen a lot of videos. Well, actually, we watched most of Spin Up on the live stream.
Right.
So we got to see the event itself. And what we didn't get to see, of course, was all of the activity. Well, we've seen some of them too on some of the guys' live streams, some of the flying sessions and going out to eat. But would you say, having been there this year, that knowing that it's going to be live streamed again next year, and probably live streamed in a way that's a lot more professional, Kelly said he's going to really do it up, make a real broadcast out of it.
Right.
Do you think that's going to deter people from actually going, or is the camaraderie and meeting the guys and all that, is that really the main event at Spin Up?
I think the camaraderie of meeting all the people that you see on YouTube all the time. It's like you finally get to meet them in person. And plus the great speakers really make the event. And plus the prizes too, which is nice little little thing for that, and plus everybody gets some swag. I got these little airplanes here. I got a Ready Set Drone sticker and a spin up sticker, and oh yeah, and I got these little flashy blinking light thingies. Oh, here's something. Here's a lens cleaner that came with all the swag, and each one of us got oh, let's see, I'll cover up the code. It's for no limit drones.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rodney Rodney Bell says in the chat that for him it was meeting all the people.
Right.
And you know, I thought long and hard about going. It's expensive. It's expensive. You know.
Yeah, especially
for me. For me, it'd be an easy grand, an easy $1,000 by the time you pay the fee, which is the smallest part of it. You know,
right.
Get a plane ticket, 3 or 4 nights in a hotel.
Right.
You know, I never count food on trips because you got to eat anyway, wherever you are. Maybe it costs you a little more to eat on the road, but you're still buying food.
Right.
But so, you know, I really almost clicked the reservation because there's an awful lot of guys that I think it'd be a real blast to meet now. Now the downside of that is maybe they'll think I'm a jerk or something, and they won't want to talk to me, you know, and then I'll have to come home from spin up with my tail down between my legs, you know. Can you imagine going all the way to meet somebody and then they just give you the brush off or something? Yeah, I don't think that. I'm just joking. But so now I have to decide: do I want to go next year?
Well, I think you should.
Do I want to go? Do I want to go next year?
Go next year. The thing that I didn't do this year, if I would have stayed another day, I could have gotten to fly with all those folks at the baseball field. And I saw that and I go, oh man, that would have been so cool to go fly with Ken Herron and Ed Ricker and you know, the whole gang was there. But I did get to fly after the event. There's a pond out back of the building, and quite a few of us were out back there flying our drones. And you've probably seen the video that I posted. You get to see some of the drone footage that I shot, but it was mostly, I wanted to make it about, okay, this is how I dealt with spin up, meeting the people. And I didn't want to show, oh, here are all the speakers, everybody's going to be doing that. I wanted to do something a little different.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of spin up, I'm trying to find introductory music for people when they come in.
Okay.
What do you think of that? Does that fit Steve Carpenter?
Oh. Yeah, he needs a Robin Hood hat, you know.
That's called Forest Frolic.
Okay.
I can picture Steve frolicking around it.
Frolicking. Yeah. But it was a blast hanging out with Steve and Mel and Paul, and Rodney, and
that's great. That's great.
Ken Dono and Sean Oz. Boy, we had some fun with Ken Dono, where he left his camera there.
I heard that story. Yeah,
oh, man,
that was funny.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are mean. Gave the guy a heart attack. So I think so we've all met. I mean, we sit here on these live streams,
right.
and it's almost as if we're in the same room.
Right.
And I mean, I know guys, not me, because I never did this, but I know guys that went to go on these internet dating sites. I mean, I used to, when I was divorced, I used to go on the dating sites, but I never did any kind of emailing relationships or Skype relationships. I said, are you in the neighborhood? You want to meet? No. Okay. Next case,
Yep. Yep. I've done that. Yep.
If they don't want to meet you, there's a reason, those pictures just don't express any form of reality, Oh man, I could keep you guys going for days on some of the experiences I have. My favorite line upon meeting some of these women, you always meet at a coffee shop or Starbucks or Panera, someplace public, is my favorite line sometimes is to walk in and look at them and say, "Hi, I'm Mitch. I'm here to meet your daughter." Because their pictures are 25 years old that they put on the website. Oh God. But at any rate, we all feel almost like buddies and family anyway. And I guess meeting in person adds another dimension. You can see how tall or short everybody is.
Yeah.
Or God, you're much heavier than you look on TV.
No. Camera puts 10 pounds on you anyway.
So maybe next year.
Yeah.
I joked about it. I tell everybody, and maybe it's true, is I took my spin up money and bought a DJI FPV system with it.
There you go. You could bring it with you next time.
Yeah. Although I'll tell you what, that FPV flying at a big event like that, unless you're really good, can be really dangerous. I mean, I watched a video of Ken Herron and know what I know about FPV and the way that I fly at this stage of my career. Anybody at that stage, I'm diving under the bleachers. Now, Ed Ricker, on the other hand.
Yeah.
The safest place to been out there is inside the batter's box behind the cage when Ken Herron went up and a couple of others.
Yeah, I mean, it's got it now. I mean, I think I've gotten to be a good enough pilot now where I can pretty well keep the thing going where I want it to, or even come to a stop with it and not crash it into anything. But the coolest flying video I saw on any of the from anybody was the little Cinewhoop that Ricker flew around inside the hall.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Where he was gone, between people's legs and buzzing around their heads. That I thought was funny. I enjoyed that.
There's some good stuff there. Boy, there's some really good flyers.
Ed is a phenomenal pilot. I don't know if you've seen his one that he posted up. Ken Dono had it. The original Dobo had parts of it with Sean on their hike. And then they have the one of him going with the car.
Yeah.
He's actually flying with the car. And that's where you want to see some control of an FPV. Yeah. I mean, he's filming cinematic video, and it's all on an FPV.
Yeah. That's coming. I mean, the equipment is there to do this, especially where you can stabilize in post if you really have something that's a little jittery. Yeah. But I know the stuff that I've shot lately from my DJI system or with a GoPro on top doesn't really need any stabilization. A lot of if you shoot with a GoPro like a Hero 7, you're already stabilized in the camera. You don't have gimbal stabilization, but this stuff looks real smooth if you can fly smooth. Now you can ruin it by jerking the thing all over the sky, but that just comes with a lot of practice. And a lot of guys, including myself, who when asked a year ago, do you know how to fly a drone? Oh yeah, I can fly a drone. Really couldn't fly a drone. Could push, could move one around. But when you get your hands on those FPV sticks and you're flying the thing, that's when you learn how to operate. And I've found out. I mean, I've got to tell you that I have flown my Mavics a few times, and the skills that you acquire learning FPV really help when you're flying a camera drone.
Right.
You just don't even think about some of the moves, and it gives you a lot more confidence to even fly through the goggles with the camera drones, the DJI goggles. Yeah, I have to practice a little bit. I actually have a paying job, first week in November.
Very cool.
Yeah. You remember the Tai Chi, the 1,000 Tai Chi people on the front lawn of that hotel that I did? I put up a video on it. Yeah. Well, it's the anniversary of that. So we're doing it again this year.
Oh, very cool.
So I'm going to go over there and shoot that. I'm going to head over to Tampa. That's where it is over on the West Coast. And thought maybe I'd go over a day early and perhaps hook up with some of the Tampa guys.
There you go.
See. Yeah. Yeah. Dan is over there, and he's got some kind of surgery planned, I think tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I think
see if he's over it or not. But there's some nice parks over there that take an FPV or 2 or 12. Right. And my daughter lives over there, so I head over the day before, go flying, and go up and spend the night at my daughter's house. And it's her company that she has a public relations company that it's her client that I'm doing this for. So we're gonna go to that thing together. I see that Rick Halber said something. I'm 100% right about the FPV helping your flying skills.
Yep.
I hear an awful lot of camera drone guys are talking about getting into FPV, and I'm tickled. I'm just tickled to see that.
In fact, Ken Dono was saying that over there after he got a chance to fly a little bit over at the park. But I would just like to be able to fly what Ed Ricker has forgotten, to have the skills he's forgotten. I would like to be that. I figure I'd be a doggone good pilot. That man is, you cannot believe the piloting skills of that guy.
Right. Yeah, there are people that are naturals, because that have the natural ability, and I wish that they had this stuff 50 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I was flying RC airplanes 50 years ago, but we never had anything like this kind of equipment and technology today. Hey, Jim is in the house, above and beyond. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Jim.
Come on down. Come on in, man, if you want to. I think I sent you a link. If not, let me know.
Spin Up was the most important thing about that to me, and the most I got out of it was meeting everybody.
Yeah.
Like meeting Art. I mean, we were actually around together quite a bit. And Rodney Bell and Drone Bum was there, and Chris Hope. So we were around each other quite a bit.
Yeah, I saw a lot. I saw a lot of the videos that had that little gang of guys in it. And did it split up into little groups as much as I thought it would?
No, well, it did. Only for the sunset and the AM flights, but the rest, everybody was together as a group for the Sunday. What do you think, Art? There was maybe about 40 plus people there at the ball field.
Well, I wasn't there. I was on my way to.
Oh, that's right.
Home. Yeah. When I saw the video, that I thought, oh, darn! I wish I could have stayed an extra day or gotten an evening flight on Sunday. But I'm on a budget, so gotta get in, get out. How that goes. Just like my class reunion, got in at midnight on Friday. The event was the next day, and instead of going back to my friend's house, he just took me to the airport. And a few hours later, I was in line to get my boarding pass and go through the security and all that. And luckily, the gate was like right next to the security, because it was a few minutes later we were getting on the plane.
Wow.
Yeah, you were home in time to do your Sunday afternoon show too.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I didn't think you'd make it.
I didn't either, but after I took an hour nap after breakfast with my sister and got home and I crashed and I go, I'm not feeling too bad. I think I can
A lot
do
of
it today.
travel to do for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, because we didn't. I have to say, I'm sorry, we didn't watch the show. I was out flying with Paul, drone bum,
Right.
because after Chris left to drive back home and Rodney had left earlier,
Yeah.
like you did,
Yeah.
but that morning, real early, and Paul and I had till the next day, so we took off and started traveling around, and we started looking at the forecast, and the wind started coming up there at the lake, the pond, the reservoir.
Right.
So we flew one flight there, and we said, man, this is getting ridiculous. So we took off to go look some other places to fly, because we were going to go down to the Capitol to fly,
Right.
because there was no TFRs that day, but the wind was up.
Yeah.
So we went back to the bridge where we flew for the sunrise flight in the morning. We went back to the Pennyback Bridge to see how a sunset would look. So we broke the compass out on our phones, and Paul and I are standing there angling it all out and going,
Mhm.
okay, let's go have dinner. We're coming back, because we were protected in the gorge. So we're
Oh, okay.
protected for any of the higher winds.
Oh, okay.
A couple of people actually were able to fly back down that day. The wind dropped in the city, so you're going to be you'll see some flights of the Capitol building.
Right. Oh, cool.
That'll be coming up by a few people.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, fly at the Capitol, and after flying at the Capitol here, I thought, oh, you know what'd be cool is if I could fly at all the state capitals.
Yeah.
And get a good look at the inside of all the state capitals' jail cells too while you're at it.
Yeah, especially up in Michigan where they,
Oh man.
they got some pretty strict rules up there in Flint, Michigan. Oh boy.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff. Listen, Paul, fan of Hodges drone, reminded me that I did see some kind of a teaser for some DJI event. I got an email. I didn't look at it on October the 30th.
Yeah.
What did it say? It said something like live your own life or something like that. What the hell is that all about?
Or take a flight or something.
I don't know. I may look at my email
There was a girl.
in the deleted folder and see what it said.
She was on a dock, and it looked like she took off like this. So it almost looked like maybe it's a fixed.
Here it is. Oh yeah, here it is. Fly as you are.
Yeah.
Oh, a jetpack.
Fly as you are.
Yeah, I saw that.
And what is it?
I posted underneath this. Is this the flying nun or a flying girl?
It says fly as you are, learn more. Coming soon in 5 days.
Yep, that's all you.
I better leave this up on my screen.
Now, does she look like fixed wing?
You got it, Gary.
I don't know what that is, but they always do this. So what could they possibly be? And then of course there'll be 600 YouTube videos between now and 5 days.
You know what they're doing, Mitch, is they're creating buzz. They're getting you and me and Art and Steve to talk about it.
Did I mention what folder this email was in?
Deleted?
Deleted items. Yes. You wouldn't believe. Sometimes I go through my deleted folder and actually empty it out, but I do that about once a month because
Hey, what's that? Art Carlson. Why am mine deleted?
yeah. Let me get back to myself here.
Hey, flying nuts.
Shift
Have it for me.
What'd you say, Steve?
Shift delete permanently deletes it, gets it out. You don't have to go.
Yeah. I save them. And about once a week, I go in and clean out the oldest one. Because you never know when you accidentally delete something you might need. So
Yeah.
So I don't delete them right away.
Yeah, Jim's posting $399 Maverick Mini. I'm hearing.
Well, that's the rumor of what's coming out. I haven't had the desire to buy any of the except for the FPV stuff from DJI. I just, I got a Mavic 2 Pro and a Mavic 2 Zoom, and between those two drones, there's not much I can't do. And if somebody tells you, well, you can't shoot 4K at 60, I go, who cares?
Yeah. Well, what was really interesting at Spin Up, no one from DJI showed up.
Really?
Yeah.
There was supposed to be people there from DJI, and no one was there.
I'm surprised.
What I did hear, and I'm going to withhold the name of the person I heard it from, and it's a reputable person, that it was originally supposed to come out on the 23rd, and it was delayed. And everything of the fallacies of how many items DJI was going to be releasing, it's going to be one item for 2019.
What about this Mavic 3 that everybody's talking about now?
Well, as I say, one item
in
2019.
So is there going to be a Mavic 3, or is it still just one of these Phantom 5 deals?
I think it's more of that.
How you
not till 2020 anyways.
You know how you get recommendations on your YouTube? Well, I've got a
No, how do you get recommendations?
Well, let me tell you.
Oh, well, go ahead.
I've got a Roku box on a couple of my TVs, and of course, the Roku box has the YouTube app in it.
Yeah, that's right. I have
that works, and I've got like 4 different Gmail accounts. Okay, and the old guy in a drone is the one that I use for this YouTube.
Right.
But if some reason when I go into on any of my Rokus and open the YouTube account, it's signed in under a different account, and I get a lot of different kinds of recommendations, and I leave it that way because there's stuff that doesn't show up on my recommendations on my old guy account, but it does show up there, and things I'm interested in, and interested in music. I'm interested in other things besides just drones, and so I'm going through the recommendations and sometimes I'll do this when I climb in bed at night, rather than just watch the garbage on TV. I'll turn the TV on because it makes me sleepy, and I'll go through the YouTube recommendations. And last night, I almost fell out of bed. Here comes a 2-year-old or a year-old video, and it said, "Here's the latest on the Phantom 5," and guess whose channel it was? Take a guess.
Three guesses, and the second 2 don't count.
Yeah. And I almost fell on the floor. and that's how I view, I'm beginning to view a lot of the stuff that comes out now. And I haven't heard, I've been seeing videos about the Skydio, but they've kind of slowed down now too.
Yeah.
Everybody's just kind of waiting for the release. Borrowwoods boy, how you do? Borrow Boy Woods. Dyslexia is a terrible thing. Borrow Boy Woods, how are you? Good to see you there. And let me give him a blue wrench too, so he can be part of the group. Thanks for coming in, my friend. So I don't know. I found out that I am in the first group to receive the Skydio 2.
Ooh, cool.
Any order number that begins with 6. Does your order number start with 6?
Yeah.
Is your order number before my order number?
I don't know. I'd have to bring it up and look at it.
Let's see. where I am on this thing. I mean, this is, order number. This is like a winning ticket. Do you have your order number there?
I'm going to bring it up.
I have my winning ticket.
It's already been used.
All right. So the last 4 digits of my order number are 3514.
Okay, I'm bringing it up. I'm launching my email.
I mean, it's a 7-digit order number, and I know damn well that there aren't 6 million of these things ordered. So obviously they started somewhere other than 1.
No, they started negative.
Yeah. So at any rate, any of you guys that ordered Skydios and have a order number that starts with 6, put the last 4 digits of your order number in the chat, and we'll see if we really do get these things in the order that they were ordered, or they don't have a favored list of people they're going to send all the first batch to. People who they think can do them the most good, and I'm probably not one of them.
I wonder who has the number 666.
6. Yeah, that'd be send that one back.
That's a good one.
You know what 668 is, Art?
The
neighbor of the beast.
Metro Drones has 2424, so he's 900 before me. So holy now if they all end in 4, that tells me they're doing the order numbers by 10. So that's another thing to find out if they're skipping every order number is 10 higher than the previous order.
I'm 4755.
Okay, so you're not a 4. You're 4755. Okay, so Metro is 2424 and I'm 3514 and you're 47. So that's a couple hundred spread between the lowest and the highest of the 3 of us, which means, there's a lot of orders for this thing. Chris Hope is in the house. Oh my God. I got all kinds of people.
Welcome,
I got people
Chris.
sitting in the damn green room, and I didn't see them because they're off the screen. So let me take a second, and without having to find music, I'll just give them applause. We have Carlos and we have Jim. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to sit in the green room.
Good evening.
It is catered, and there, there's a cheese and fruit plate in there, and some coffee and Danish for you.
Somebody ate
And
all the
that
M&Ms.
pretty girl, the clickbait pretty girl was back there also.
She's there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing, guys?
Doing well.
Want the peanut M&Ms.
No, we're classier than that, man. Come on.
I like them.
They were
I
peanut.
had some ice cream in the back.
Who doesn't like peanut and M&Ms? Come on, guys.
Well, anything that's sweet, we all like that.
Yeah. Drink the peanut butter cup.
Coffee.
Hey, DJI saved a customer, and I can't.
3670. Excuse me a second.
It's
I'm sorry.
John in the house.
We're taking a toll of the order numbers of who ordered a Skydio.
Yeah.
Chris Hope.
3670.
3670 Rick Halber. So Rick, I'm 3514.
Oh wow, Drone Life RC's 9987.
Wow. Okay, I wonder if they really did get 1,000 or 2 orders.
Yeah,
Oh,
Wow.
I'm sure they did.
Wow.
they're on their third batch.
Yeah, but this is the
mailing
first.
list
This
batch.
is all the first batch. This is all these orders start with 6. They all start with 6, which is the November delivery batch.
Well, apparently they've right. You said November. Apparently they've split it up into ordering batches.
Yeah, but the the first number of the order tells you which batch you're in. Evidently, that's what I heard somewhere. Don't ask me where I heard that.
Chris wants to know what you guys are all talking about.
We're talking about the who's in line where to get their Skydio 2. So we're comparing order numbers. And unfortunately, mine wasn't the lowest. So far, let me go back here.
24.
Metro Drones was the lowest at 24 24. Now these are all
I thought
numbers.
maybe that was the year he was going to get it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
That was a song. In
Yeah,
the
it was.
year 24. 24.
No, we don't have them yet. They're supposed to be released in November, but you know, November could be November 1st, or it could be November 30th. Who knows?
Mhm.
I'll tell you when they're going to release it. When the least convenient time for you to fork over $1,500. The least convenient time.
Yep.
The one day after you paid the house payment, and the 2 days before the paycheck comes in. That's
Yeah.
when you're going to get the call that says, buy it now or you lose your drone.
Yeah.
For New
There
Year.
you go.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's got to be 50. Steve Carpenter, 47.55. It's got to be, and it's a $1,500 deal, no matter how you slice it.
You got to buy batteries.
You got to have both the controllers. You have to. I mean, if you're going to buy this drone, you take advantage of what it can do.
And one extra battery at least.
Yeah, at least one or two extra batteries.
Mr. Ice Spike just joined you there, Mitch.
Mikey,
Yeah.
hey, how you doing, man?
Chris Hope, I printed.
Wait a minute. Crikey. There you go. Okay.
Chris Hope, I printed mine day one.
DJI will come up with something, Jody says, or buy them out. I don't know. I think these guys know that they got something. And if DJI does buy them out, it's going to probably take a lot of money. And I'd rather they not, between you and me.
Me too.
I'd rather be doing business with the American company with the great warranty.
Yeah.
With no registration and no geofencing. Much rather.
I tell you what, Mitch, I was 3 minutes, and you know me. I have one of those type A personalities. From throwing that Mavic 2 Pro right out the garage door, when DJI sent me a letter that said, go buy new batteries. Because
they're
all swelling up.
Got to be tough.
So I told them, we're done. I said, that's it. There'll be no more buying or anything like that. They sent me an email. I'm getting 3 new batteries.
Oh, really? Did you remind them how many tens of thousands of dollars worth of their crap that you have bought?
Yeah, I said, as an enterprise customer, I'm not putting up with this. You're already screwing me on the Inspires.
Smart move. I'm glad you did that. I haven't bought that much from them, so I couldn't get away with it. But you've been a big customer of theirs, man.
Well, and not a lot of people know. Down in Florida, we have what's called these saltwater water softeners, because we get not everybody, but the originals here, we get the water from a well, and it goes through a water softener because it has high calcium, magnesium, all that in it.
Yeah.
Well, like an idiot, it has a drain hose. So when it backwashes, it just backwashes the water out onto the lawn. I had pulled the car up too close to the garage, which made the water softener blow up into the garage, spraying everything with salt water.
Oh, no.
6 DJI Inspire 1 batteries got shorted out.
Oh, no.
They're all garbage.
Oh, shit.
They're all rusting and corroding and all that.
Oh,
so
man.
When they told me, because that renders my 3 Inspires useless.
Not unless you buy a bunch of expensive batteries.
Yeah. So when they turned around and told me that with the Mavic 2 Pro, and I'm not the only one. Everybody knows they came out with a firmware update where you can change the discharge date from 10 days down to 1 if you want. I put mine at 3 days. But if they're going to tell everybody to kiss off from that July 2018 battery batch with the swelling battery, they're losing customers for sure.
Right.
This is a perfect time for Skydio or anybody else to come on into the game.
Well, Skydio seems to be the only one that really has something that DJI doesn't.
Mm.
I mean, when you look at everybody else, whether it's Parrot or anybody that makes camera drones, they might measure up to the DJI, and maybe some of them have a little faster shutter at 4K or something, or frame rate. But by and large, DJI, they have nothing that DJI doesn't have. This Skydio thing has got something that the DJI drones don't have.
DJI's always had the manifold, which is the NVIDIA Jetson 1 and TX1 and TX2. They've always had it. They have manifold 1, manifold 2.
But they don't have the software.
Sure they do. Want to use it? Pay
AI
$5,000.
The AI software that dodges things and follows you and all that?
It's $5,000 to use that computer through their SDK on their drones. They nickel and dime you to death.
Look at what you got to pay just for the license to use a big SSD drive in your Inspire.
Yep.
$1,000, isn't it?
Oh, originally you had to buy the ProRes with it too. So that was the ProRes key.
Well, they're dealing with Hollywood. I said this last week. They're dealing with Hollywood. Hollywood's used to spending huge dollars on cameras and lights and equipment and sound equipment. They're used to that. To them, $100,000 for a camera is right in line. So when you give them a camera drone and it comes in at $20,000, they wonder why it's so cheap, because they're not used to spending that little money on professional.
Well, they've got a new competitor out called TerraView.
I heard about them.
That'll take all of DJI's cameras and fly them for 70 minutes. And I've got a conference call scheduled with them because they're not putting out the pricing. Yeah. But as soon as I saw that bird, I said, I'm in. How do I get that? It'll take all DJI cameras. It'll take the FLIR cameras and all this crap. Don't have to be stuck with DJI, because DJI, the minute they want to lose you and make you buy a new bird, they'll stop supplying batteries.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you want to take those batteries apart and try to rebuild the cells yourself.
I've done that.
New cells. I mean, it can be done. You got to get the right size cells. You better, know what you're doing. But, it's like our cell phones. Used to be you could pop the back off a cell phone and swap the battery out. But how long's it been since anybody made a cell phone with a removable battery, or a GoPro, even a GoPro Session 5 batteries built in?
And I heard the new GoPro doesn't have an HDMI plug.
The new 8?
Yeah.
I haven't even, my 7 does everything and more than I need. The stabilization is everything and more. We can spec ourselves to death with this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've got my camera that I use, which I hardly use anymore because I have a cell phone and I have a GoPro that I use when I shoot stuff, is a Sony A6000.
Yep. Still good. Nothing wrong with it.
They're still selling it. You can still go into Best Buy and buy a new one.
Yeah.
Now, I paid $1,000 for mine with the zoom lens. It was $1,000 for the. Now you can buy it for $500 because
that lens that cost you the money, right?
No, this was a cheap lens that they have. It's not that good, but it takes okay pictures. I mean, I'm not trying to compete with professionals here. This is for, just taking pictures of things, not to publish them on billboards or anything. It's a 24 megapixel camera. It takes great pictures. The video is only 1080. It doesn't do 4K, but I don't use it as a video camera. I use my GoPro as a video.
And that's all the 6400 really has, is the 4K 60.
Yeah,
right?
And then they had the 6500
but I mean, put money in. The thing to do is put money in other glass that you want to use with it, just for the type of shooting you want to do.
Right.
Yeah, it's just an Sony E-mount lens, and it takes all kinds of things, but I don't use it hardly at all. Hardly ever. That's the thing. It sits in my bag, and I hardly use it. In fact, I can't even think of what I used it for last. About once a month, I charge it up just to make sure it stays charged. But
it's a waste of my time.
Who is that?
My phone.
Oh.
to get me in so much trouble at work. The boss would be giving some big lecture about something, and my phone would say, "It's just a waste of my time."
That's funny, man.
Yeah. Art, we all want to see you build that RoboMaster. Are you going to make videos for us?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to do that.
That can't be easy. Well, I can't remember. Was it 42 or 46 parts?
I have no idea. I know it's a bunch of freaking parts. It's going to be like putting a erector set together.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think that's how they were selling it, for that being half the fun. You know, maybe dad working with his kid or something.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Here's Art throwing parts around.
You didn't get it. You didn't get it yet, did you?
No, not yet. Kelly
I can't
is,
see me playing with that.
Yeah.
No, but I can see you playing with FPV drones. Jim and I were talking about that the other day.
Do you really see me with FPV, Mitch?
And yes, I do. I do. I think
Why not?
Why not?
Mitch and I got together and flew together out in one of our open fields and made a day of it. And he's got all kinds of things that I don't have now. And we need to do that again, Mitch.
Yeah, I keep thinking about it when we got a breeze, we got a front coming through or whatever. For the next couple of days, going to be breezy. But right after that, I was thinking about giving you a call. And I'll just load my car up. You load your car up, and we'll run down there. And I want to, I'm going to build some of these airplanes.
Yeah,
with sophisticated flight controllers in them, with all kinds of.
You're going to do mission planner and all that stuff with the cube.
They're going to be not the cube. Actually, I'm actually going to use iNav and Maytech Wing controller.
Have you checked out the here controller at all?
No.
Okay.
No, the reason I've looked at the Eagle Tree Vector, and I've had some experience with Eagle Tree stuff, but since I've learned so much about Betaflight, and iNav is a fork of Betaflight, it's similar in so many ways, and the controller is so powerful. It's got the latest F7 processor, and it only costs like $60 for the controller, whereas the Eagle Tree system, by the time you're done, is going to be about $300. And the difference is when you use the Maytech controller, you have to solder, and a lot of guys don't like to solder. They want everything plug and play. I'd rather solder it up just the way I want it. You know what I mean?
I bought those helping hands because I didn't trust myself soldering. With the DJI Inspire, I know it's off subject, but the antenna is actually a metal wire going through a piece of plastic.
They're all that way, yeah.
You have to double solder. There's two places you have to solder, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna burn through this thing or whatever, you know.
Somebody got a radio going on or something in the background there. I hear something. Now it's stopped.
I don't think it's me.
Something was chirping away or something. Anyway.
I think it was Steve's phone.
So I told you, I know we're talking, we get talking a little bit about equipment here and stuff, but that's just my passion. So I told you that I got this thing.
T16.
This is the Jumper T16 transmitter, which is now absolutely all the rage among anybody, including Joshua Bardwell, who's anybody in the FPV community or RC for that matter. $159. This thing rivals some of the $500, $600, $700 radios, and it's multi-protocol, which means I don't care what you're flying, you can bind it up to this thing, or plug a Crossfire module or an R9 module into the back. But internally, it's got a multi. So any Spectrum, any FlySky, FreeSky, any of the stuff that you have. So for $159, Anybody who's thinking about getting started in FPV, and the reason I'm telling you this is don't buy anything but that radio.
Is like that. Is that like the QX7 or whatever that's so popular?
This is the QX7 here.
Right.
And this is the QX7S that I bought. And this thing cost me more than that other one.
That was a couple of hundred, right?
Yeah, this was $180, $190. It did come with that module though. It came with the R9 module, which is about a $30 deal. But it's just there's no comparison in the two of them. And they came out with this new one, which is called the Jumper T16 Pro. And it's got the Hall effect gimbals in it, and it's got the multi-protocol module built into it, where the initial Jumper T16 did, and it's $159.
Oh.
It's unbelievable. It uses the 18650 batteries, like the big look like big AA batteries.
But will it make margaritas?
Probably will.
You remember that Honeymooners, but will it core an apple?
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember the Honeymooners?
I remember the Honeymooners. Yeah,
that was funny.
It's like there's notice hiding behind the book.
It looks like ERB got two of them. He said
EBR. You get two. Did you get two
okay.
of the? Oh, the J16 Pro Drone Shots is getting it. EBR. It is, honest to God. So I just spent like 2 full days programming that radio for what turns out to be 12 friggin' drones, 12 FPV drones.
Oh, you put all your drones into one controller?
Oh yeah, because it has multiple models. So you go in and select the model, and the airplanes will bind up to it too. It'll hold a slew of different models. A lot of guys, what they do is they use one basic generic model and settings for all their drones. But what I like to do is I like to have a separate model in the radio. It's a habit I got into from RC airplanes for each drone. And it gave me an opportunity to go in there and really calibrate the accelerometers and set the limits on the throws so that you get the 1500 microsecond center stick pulses and 1000. Those guys at FPV know what I'm talking about, and set all the switches the way I want them. So it took me about 2 days to do that. And I went through each drone and did it, and then took it out and test flew it to make sure that I didn't do anything wrong. And then one of my drones here, I actually got brave and flashed the new, and I'm sorry or apologize to any of you guys that I'm losing here, but I flashed the new Betaflight 4.1. They finally put it out as a release, not just a release candidate. Yeah.
I was wondering when you were going to do that.
I know. The world was waiting with bated breath, Did he do it? Did he do it?
Hey, Mitch.
What you get at Spin Up.
Mitch, you can control gimbals with that?
Yeah. Hey, no fancy controls here. Yeah, it's all manual. It's analog, man.
Yeah.
That is analog.
You're gonna have to be on that.
Control gimbals with what?
With your controller?
And you get
if you've got a gimbal that can be controlled from a controller somehow, what they do on let's say the flying wings or airplanes,
right,
with the cameras in them,
right,
is they'll make a mount for the camera with a couple of servos, one to tilt it up and down, the other to pan it left and right, and then you can use controls on a transmitter, usually a rotating dial or a slider.
Do you know how to do that?
Yes.
'Cause I may be knocking on your door.
But I can't. I don't know how I would control, say, a gimbal that like the DJI gimbals. That
No. I would be getting like a Tarot gimbal and hanging a FLIR camera on it.
I don't know if I could hook that up, or if there's a way to hook that up to these different flight controllers or not. I'm not familiar with that. Because the things that we make for the planes are kind of crude. They're not really gimbals. They're just mounts with servos to move them around, to tilt them up and down and move them left and right. It's not going to follow anything. It's basically
Yeah.
you got the airplane flying along on autopilot and altitude hold, and it's maybe flying some waypoints, and you're going on a little cruise, and you can put on a set of goggles with head tracking. Okay.
Right.
And as you're flying, as you look around, up and down and around, the camera follows your head movement, which is kind of cool. It's like sitting in the cockpit. You want to see what's left, you look over that way, look ahead, straight ahead. And
the DJI goggles do that.
they do that, yeah, but they do that only with the Mavics. There's no way I could get them to do that with something
see
that
what
I
you're
do. Yeah,
They've closed their system so tight, Carlos. It's ridiculous. You can't even live stream RTMP with the Crystal Skies. They put their own version of Android in there, so I actually have to take that off and put an iPad on if I want to stream.
Oh, no doubt. Yep.
Because
Ridiculous.
I thought they were what do you call it, Apple friendly, aren't they?
The nice thing about it is Apple won't let anybody control or configure their operating system. Thank you, Apple. Thank you. Stay that way.
That's why I'm so enamored with the open source stuff that the drone community uses. And there's a lot of fear that DJI is going, because they're so proprietary with their stuff. The guys in the drone community that are so used to everything being so open source. The source code is out there for every bit of the software that these things use, for Beta Flight, Clean Flight, iNav, all that stuff. They're afraid that DJI is going to come in and going to own it. And the problem is that a lot of the people, and me included, are so enamored with the actual product and the experience you get flying it that you almost want to let them. But then you give them an inch, and the next thing you know, they're going to limit this, they're going to limit that, they're going to lock this out. Then all of a sudden they're going to, you're going to find out that they got geofencing.
They spend a lot of time keeping us out of it. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's a proprietary thing. That's where their money.
Jody says, no, Mitch, I can do it with Litchi on the Inspire 1, and he can head track with the white DJI goggles.
Yeah, but it's still only with a DJI drone. I don't think I could get the DJI goggles to work with an FPV drone. There's no way I'd ever get that, because it has to communicate. It has to bind to the drone, not the white goggles. The DJI FPV goggles are a whole different scheme.
So it's a proprietary Wi-Fi signal channel or whatever? Isn't that just working by Wi-Fi?
Which one? The FPV?
Yeah, the goggles to the FPV, to the vehicle.
No, I don't know. It might be on. It's on a 5 gigahertz band, and when you say is it on Wi-Fi, you don't know what the protocol is. It might be on a frequency similar to what a Wi-Fi frequency would be on the 5 gigahertz band, but their protocol, their communication protocol, how they do it is probably not the same as Wi-Fi. It's got to be more similar to OcuSync or one of those kind of protocols.
Yes, Spike. No Limit Drones does let you get inside DJI, but it also shuts down all communications, which means you still can't stream with No Limit Drones. What's up?
Yeah.
What are we waving to, guys?
I went to screen up.
That crazy guy in the top right screen.
Art's trying to get some attention.
Yeah. I went to screen up.
Dinner coming on, so
Drone Strike LLC's in the house. So
What's up, Gary?
Yeah, I gotta run. I'll catch you guys later.
Oh, okay, buddy.
Oh, okay, Gary. Good.
All right.
Thanks for coming in. I always appreciate you coming in early like that, and so I don't have to be lonely. You know what I mean?
Always a pressure, Mitch.
All right, Gary. You take care,
Good to
buddy.
see you, Gary.
Okay, have a good one.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
And if you went to spin up, you got a pass to no limit drone.
Everybody got a key, right?
Yep.
That was cool of
Everybody
Greg.
got a key. And it's good for 3 months. And if you do a review, it's permanent.
I'll give you a week of fooling with that before you burn up your ESCs and your motors. There's a reason why you got to know what you're doing to fool with that stuff. Just like for those guys who fly FPV, you know that you go into beta flight, start fooling with the filtering, you can burn up a motor so fast your head will spin. Mm-hmm. So you really got to know what you're doing. More than I know already. So there's certain things I leave alone. And
if it works, don't mess with it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
The only reason that we would use that, as Mitch will tell you, we're in some complicated airspace here with the Space Center and Melbourne Airport, Valkyrie Airport, Merritt Island Airport. We're surrounded by airports around here. So if you go like anywhere near 528 or 520, you'll be in a no-fly zone or whatever.
Yeah, I am right where I live. Well, we're no worse than a big metropolitan area, though. That's for sure. You just have to find a place to fly.
Gets tricky.
Yep.
It does. We don't get a lot of TFRs down here like they do in the bigger cities.
Yeah, you're surrounded by JFK, and then LaGuardia is on the other side. Yeah.
Yep. Right.
Plus, you got islip 30 miles away.
And a helipad. Not too far.
Now, that doesn't affect you at all, Carlos?
Not with FPV, no. Not at all.
No, there's no FPV is just a straight communication between the device and your equipment, the goggles and your transmitter. There's no internet, no cell phones, no Wi-Fi, nothing at all involved. You got a straight analog video feed, and your controller is 2.4 gigahertz if you're using FreeSky. If you're using the R9 module like I am, and it's 900 megahertz, and
wow.
that gets you out about 6-7 miles with the R9 module. And there's a system called Dragon Link. Have you heard of that one, Carlos?
No.
They use Dragon Link for these guys that build these FPV model airplanes with the cameras in them, and they actually build receivers for the video feed, the antennas that track based on the telemetry of where the model is that's sent from the GPS. Oh, wow. So the thing sits there like a NASA thing, it's sitting on a tripod. And as the plane's moving through the sky, the antenna's turning and following it up and down. And when you've got a directional antenna that continually stays pointed exactly at your airplane, the range you can get on that is tremendous. And the range on this Dragon Link is like 40 miles.
Wow.
Yeah. And they do this. They do these flights where they fly them out 20, 30 miles with these airplanes. They put huge batteries in them. They get an hour and a half worth of flight time out of them, and program missions into them. And there's tons of videos on YouTube that from these guys, and it's fascinating. And of course, I have to get the bug. When I watch this stuff, I say I got to do that.
Yeah.
So here we go. So I got everything I need now, except for a couple of things that are straggling from China. I got this twin engine Sonic model binary airplane. I got the motors for it, that kit, the lighting kit, the landing gear kit, the flight controller, the receiver. And I'm going to do it on YouTube. I'm going to just build it on YouTube. So it'll be old guy in a drone and an airplane.
You want to go? You know what I would do? I would want to go VTOL.
Well,
That
that's a
would-
whole
that would-
nother thing. Yeah, there's ways to do that, but I don't particularly care to do that. They're selling some of these little airplanes fairly cheap.
Yeah, right in that hobby town or whatever it is.
Yeah.
By us.
They're going out of business, you know.
Really?
Yeah, they're closing. They may have already closed. I got.
Holy cow.
Yeah, they can't. I don't know. I never knew how they stayed in business this long. How do you compete with Banggood and Amazon and
Internet.
and all the mail order places?
That's
Because
true.
you know, sometimes being there, being able to touch it, feel it, and ask a real human questions is worth more than getting it $20 cheaper.
But not enough to keep them in business and pay that kind of overhead.
Yeah, that's
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
not enough people, because with YouTube, you can damn near almost touch it. When you watch these videos of these guys, the unboxing videos and the assembly videos and the programming and flying of these things,
Mhm.
you're going to get a lot more information than the poor kid that's working behind the counter at the hobby shop after school. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what he's talking about. So, I mean, I went into that hobby shop looking for an airplane, just something, because I wanted to, this was last year when I wanted to just have an airplane to fly, and nobody in there hardly knew anything. So
Mm.
they're going down. They're going out of business,
Mitch,
unfortunately.
I'm taking off.
Well, I always say, Carlos, if you're going to take off, use an airplane.
There you go. And I'm going to take the rest of the night off too.
Take the rest of the day off.
Yeah.
All right.
There-
Where
Catch
did
you
Steve
soon.
Carpenter go? Steve Carpenter kind of.
yeah,
He's filling out contracts.
Oh, okay. Hey, thanks for
Take care,
coming in,
gentlemen.
buddy.
good to
All right.
see you, Carlos.
Where's your
Take
beard,
care.
Carlos? What happened to your face?
I got rid of it. It was too itchy, too much of a pain in the butt. So back to shaving.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. You're excused. You can
Take
go
care. Thank you.
now. All
Thanks, Dad.
right. See you. And there's 4 of us now.
There we go.
Three and a half.
Spike says VTOL is a game changer. Yeah, I believe so. That's how they're going to do all the deliveries anyway.
Oh yeah, they get these things that deal that they had at Spin Up, Skyward or whatever the guy's name was, had that huge airplane in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
That was a VTOL that transitioned to forward flight with
Yeah, that was
would go 60
Skyway, I think it
would go
was.
Skyway. It would go real fast in
Yep.
forward flight, and then because if you're going to do any long range deliveries, you can't do it at 20 miles an hour, man. You got to get up and
Yep.
go. You get a
Mhm.
headwind, it'll never get there.
He was using 16,000 mAh batteries, and I know Foxtech has 22,000 mAh batteries. I mean, they're just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Or you can parallel a couple of batteries. You can parallel.
That's what DJI does.
Yeah, you can. No, you can. Well, they don't parallel the cells. You know, a
Yes, they
LiPo,
do. Inside this right here,
it's a 4S1P, isn't it?
there's 12 cells, and 2 6s are series
Okay, so
together,
it's
and then they
6S.
parallel it.
6S2P.
There he is.
That's what those numbers mean. 4S1P, 4S2P. But you can take. I have some adapters, XT60 adapters, to take and plug 2 batteries together into one.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm going to do on these airplanes, because I got some 3,000 milliamp 4 cells for my big 7-inch drones.
Right.
Big, and I can take 2 of them for this big airplane and parallel them and end up with 6,000 milliamp 4 cell, which will give me about 45 minutes to an hour's worth of flying, depending on how hard I fly it.
There you go.
So you don't need that deep cycle of doing a bunch of series and all. Is that what you're talking about? Because if you can get away with just 3,000 milliamp batteries, that's cool.
Yeah, I can take 2 of them in parallel them. You charge them both up, you put them in parallel, and it draws them both down. And it gives you the equivalent of 6,000 milliamp battery.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen guys do that on the Inspire with that clip that goes to a XT60, Mitch.
Yeah, a lot of times what guys will do is, Steve, I think it was since you came back now, I hear that noise again. You got something playing in there? Is there a TV playing or?
Oh, beep. Hold on.
Catfish? Is that what I heard?
I don't know. I heard something going off in the background. Something
Yeah,
was.
It was a voicemail. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, I heard something, and what it was doing was it was just hitting the threshold of the mic, so it was coming on, you know, and I'm trying to, what the hell is that? But it went away when you muted your mic, so we knew you were the guy.
Oh, okay.
So what I was,
What I just want to say, I'm sorry, I got to back out. I got to run on this phone call with the city. So
oh, okay.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh man, always a pleasure. You know that. You know that.
Take care.
Talk to you later, Steve.
Everybody, and have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in.
See you again, Steve.
Okay, so now I don't like that view. I like this better.
Yeah,
Okay, so now
there and Jim,
what I used to do with this monster Gonzo helicopter that I have, and I have a big RC helicopter here. It used to use two 6,000 milliamp 6 cells in series. So it was running on 12S basically, almost 50 volts. Okay, this is what they do on these beast class FPV things that are 4 feet, you know. And I didn't parallel them in that case. You run them in series. So you can take two 6S cells, put them in series, and end up with the equivalent of a 12S, or put them in parallel and keep the voltage the same, but double the capacity. You understand what I'm saying, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're doubling the capacity, but it's not the deep cell. You know where they hit the amount of draw, as long as you're staying under so many amps.
Oh, well, these cells that we use for the FPV drones are 75 to 100 plus C rated cells. They're designed to dump current more than you'll ever need. You know what I mean? More than a DJI drone would ever need. You understand what 100 C means?
No.
Okay,
No.
let me try to explain that to you. The capacity of a cell. Let's take a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. That's 3 amp hours. Okay.
All right.
3 amp hours. That's the C. The capacity of the cell is 3 amp hours. A 100 C battery can deliver 100 times C without blowing up. That means that battery can deliver a constant 300 amps.
300.
Yeah, 100 times the capacity. If the capacity of the battery is 3 amp hour, that's C means 3 amps, a 100 C battery will actually unload 300 amps. Has the capacity to deliver that kind of current, which is like car starting kind of current.
What's the normal on these 6-cell batteries or 4-cell batteries that we're using?
On the DJI Pro, I would imagine they're probably 15, 20 C batteries. They never need that kind of current that a racing drone might need, or, you know, dump it wide open. So the batteries that you buy for, say, the model airplanes, you don't need to have 100 C batteries. You could get away with 30 C batteries, but that's what the C rating means. So if you're powering a device that's going to like open a fire hose faucet on current to accelerate like mad, you need a high C rated battery.
All I know is that programs like Air Data will tell you during your flight how many amps. Like if it's green, you use 30 amps or under, and then of course red, you can go up to 80 amps. They're rated at
in current draw.
In current draw,
right. Yeah. But if you've got a 3 milliamp or 3,000 milliamp or 3 amp hour battery,
right,
and you've drawn 80 amps out of it, you're not even drawing 30 C. 30 C would be 90 amps.
So then how come these batteries don't last? But
because they're not not high. They're not designed for that high a capacity. Whereas the batteries for the drones. Let me go get one. I'll show you. Okay, I'll be right back. Entertain the troops.
All right, we will.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. You've got what have you got, Art? The Spark and the
No, I have the Mavic Air.
Okay, and how many minutes are you getting of flight time?
Oh, about 12, 14 minutes. Yeah. Not bad.
That seems to be their range across their product line.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Well, I think for the Phantoms, I'm getting close to 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
yeah, and that's a 4-cell, and then
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this battery here,
how many cells?
these are all 4 cells. I use
cell,
pretty
okay.
much only 4 cells. I like to standardize to that. All right, so this battery here is a 2200 milliamp 4-cell pack,
All right.
and it's rated at 50C.
Now,
If you can see, it says 50C.
that's the kind of thing that's inside here, inside this case here. Those cells are stacked just like that.
The cell, because the cells, they're all the LiPo batteries have the same looking cells. They just package them differently.
The only thing they're doing different is every 2 cells are stuck together in series. And then all of that is put into parallel.
Yeah.
So to add to longevity, what? What is the purpose of that?
Depends on how many. It's just to give you what you need out of it. You know, give you the voltage and the capacity that you need for whatever device you're trying to power. They didn't need to they could have used bigger cells. Rather than put 2 together in parallel.
Right.
They could have used one bigger cell. Probably would have been better. But, it might have been, that's the way they had to do that to get them to fit within a certain size. Jerry, you're obsessed. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Not knowing the workings of it, I thought maybe that made it like a deep cell battery. You know what I mean?
There's no such thing as a deep cycle LiPo. You're thinking of car batteries,
right?
Lead acid batteries. These things have there are higher capacity, higher C-rated batteries, but nothing. They still all charge up the same. And this battery is a standard 4-cell. This is a 2200 and 50C, which is more than enough C rating for me to fly a 7-inch drone, because a 7-inch or a bigger drone or an airplane. This is great for a model airplane. You only need a 20C, 30C battery unless you're flying some kind of racer thing, you know. Now this is a 1500 milliamp, little smaller than the 22. See?
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, a little shorter, but the same thickness. Actually, it's actually thicker. This is a 100C battery. Okay. This thing, you put this in a FPV drone, a 100C battery, and you give it full throttle, it's going. And it's not going to drop. The voltage isn't. See, if you're trying to draw more amps than a battery can give you, your voltage will drop.
When you're getting your sag,
you'll get sag. But if your battery has the capacity to deliver that kind of current, then you won't get the sag. That's why the higher C batteries are a little more expensive. They've got them now 200C. Some of these drone racers are using them. They're crazy. These things are like, it's like you cut the top off the battery and dumped all the current at one time. You know, I mean, it's insane amount of current. You could almost spot weld with these things. It makes them a little more dangerous too, but if you short circuit them. But there's a science to the lithium batteries, and I've been dealing with them for way back in the model airplane days when electric stuff started to come out. You know, I had them and they puffed up and they swelled up, and learned everything the hard way.
What's the fastest way to make them puff up?
Right, the fastest way to make them puff up is to run them down to nothing with high current draw. In other words, you got them in a drone and you're down to 20% battery and you're still blasting it. And you'll do more damage to your battery that way and puff them up, or leave them setting fully charged in less than optimum temperature. In other words, charge them up, throw them in the trunk of your car, leave them there for a week.
God.
Your batteries are done. You're gone. They're going to be all blown up. You're lucky you don't set your car on fire. So you got to take care of them. That's the one thing that DJI was smart when they put that automatic discharge thing in their batteries. You know what I mean?
Well, see, they just released that new firmware. They had it at 10 days standard for the
10
Mavic
days
2.
isn't too bad either. You can leave them charged a week or two. It's not going to hurt them too much, but especially if the temperature is okay. But, you get them down here in Florida, trunk of a car, you got 120 degrees with a fully charged battery, you leave it sit like that for a week or two, you're going to kill it. Or you've run it down to nothing. You ran it down to where the drone fell out of the sky because it was completely exhausted. You go look at it and you'll find that probably swelled it right up. And I've seen guys, well, I'll just put a pinhole in it, let the air out.
What? Seriously?
I've had people say, just poke a pin in it. Yeah. And stand back.
Yeah.
Stand back and flames shoot out of that pinhole.
That's probably why they have that battery management system in there, which when it says 0, the battery still has, let's say, 10%.
They're not letting you take it all out, and that's good. That's why some of these guys have, in these range test things, have found out that they could fly to land. They could, by keeping it going, they keep flying it way below what DJI says is 0 battery, but they're killing that battery. That's crazy. Mike Roche is in the house. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Mike's got a new name. Mike Roche.
He changed his name. Yeah.
And Big D Troll is in the house. I don't know Big D Troll, but he seems to have batteries and stores
them in the microwave.
Stores his batteries in the microwave. So he seems like a real smart guy to me. We're gonna go ahead and give him a blue wrench too, so he can be like the rest of us. How you doing, Big D Troll? Thanks for coming by.
Yeah,
I hope you're not really a troll, but that's okay.
Mikey, I like the new name.
Mike Roach Media. Yeah, I think it's very classy. Very classy. I don't know. Is a media better than a studio?
I think so.
You think?
It's more inclusive.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of media.
Ooh,
He's not stuck in the studio. He's out there getting all
He's
kinds
out there. Big D Troll. I was given this name, so I went with it. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Man, look at the time. It's 20 to 8 already.
Yeah, it's almost that time.
So what happens if you try to plug all these batteries together? Well,
Well, see,
there you go.
I saw a video, okay, where they used a XT60 clip in the center, right, Mitch? And put 2 3,000 batteries on the side and tried to use that as extra power draw for the Inspire. But it turned out that was not, because if it's less than initial power than the actual DJI battery itself, you're not helping.
No, you're screwed. Yeah, if you're going to parallel batteries, they better be exactly the same voltage, because if they're not the same voltage, then all you're going to do is start charging one off the one that's discharging until they find a level, and that's not what you want to do. So
That's where I was going with my questions.
Yeah, if I'm going to parallel batteries, I'm going to use 2 of the exact same batteries that are as close to like the same batch, even, batteries that I bought together, and parallel them. I really don't like to parallel them too much, because if there is a difference in voltage, one will go into the other to try to. It's like having 2 glasses of water with a pipe between.
Trying to level them out.
Yeah, you get double the quantity of water, but they're gonna try to find the same level.
Yeah, equilibrium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do, and they sell. And I bought these little connectors, the XT60s, that have two batteries plug in and one out. And then they sell the same little connectors that have two batteries in and one out that put them in series. So you better be very careful that if you think you're using a parallel, you don't use a series, because you're going to end up with double the voltage and smoke whatever the hell you plug it into.
Yeah. You don't want to do that.
You plug 8S into a 4S thing, and it's going to create smoke. That's why it's probably not a bad idea. Now, I think the nice thing about these batteries here, these 1500, these are the size for a typical 5-inch quad. This is a 1500 milliamp 4S 100C battery, $17 a piece.
Wow. Wow.
$17 on Amazon. 2 for $38 or 30. Yeah, 2 for $38.
Started at 200. They're now up to 300 and change.
Yeah. So you buy 10 of these things, for what you buy one of those for, or more. And if you're hard on them and you run them down and you puff them up, and you're one of these guys that flies a lot more than I, flies 20 packs a day, and you got 300 packs of flying on one thing, and it just gives up the ghost. You throw it away. It's no big deal. They're not intelligent batteries. They don't have any circuitry in them, but the chargers that we use have a storage mode.
Yeah.
So if you have a fully charged, like this battery right now is at storage voltage, it could sit for a year. I don't know how long it's been sitting. It sits in the warehouse. When you get them, about 3.8 volts per cell. That's storage.
That is actually maximum 3.72 or 3.73 is maximum on a DJI battery.
Yeah, but these are they tell you 3.8 is a good for storage. So you put this thing in the charger. You say if it's above that, it discharges it to storage. If it's below that, it charges it up to storage.
So what is so different between those and these other batteries?
They're nothing. They're batteries.
That's what I'm thinking. But
it's the case. It's the packaging and the circuitry. With DJI, they've got all this intelligent stuff in there to monitor the batteries and discharge the batteries and communicate the battery information to the rest of the telemetry, so it knows what's going on with the batteries. And so that's where the money is. The actual batteries themselves
are nothing.
Well, there's different qualities of LiPo cells, like anything else. There's cheap Chinese garbage and there's high-end Chinese stuff. There's cheap Japanese garbage and high-end. They make them in Korea. The difference between some of what they call the best batteries and some of the ones like this is priced like it's a gold bat. Okay, that's the manufacturer. Now that's another thing.
Who's better?
No, they're all, half of them are buying their cells from the same factory.
Okay.
They're just packagers. A lot of these people don't make the cells. So if they buy good cells to put in their battery, you got a good battery. If you buy junk, you got a junky battery. But I tell you one thing about these gold bats, I've never had one puff on me. Whereas some of the ones that everybody says are so good and cost a lot more, I've had them puff.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So I found out that I can buy these things on Amazon for half of what some of these other batteries cost. And from my experience, they're better batteries. They work great.
That's what I'm saying. Who's better? Like you see Tattoo all the time.
Well, Tattoo is a good battery and I use them, but I don't think they're any better than this. But they cost about 60 to 80% more than these do.
Why?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. These things are at the price.
Says I use no less than 75C.
Yeah, Eric. How you doing, Eric? Good to see you, man. I didn't even see you in here. Boy, look, he's been up here. Oh,
he just came in a few minutes ago.
Let me give you a blue wrench too, man.
There
I
you go.
went over to Eric, had his first live stream on StreamYard the other night, and he published the link in the chat. I jumped on because I was jonesing to be on TV. You know, I just had to.
Oh, I didn't.
And I jumped in and then Dan comes along, and who else was in there? A couple of guys I didn't know,
But see, look, he says I prefer 100C.
yeah.
Mitch.
I'll tell you what, Eric, this right here is a gold bet, 1500 100C Amazon 2 for $37. And it's a good battery. I've been using them and no puffing, no nothing. It's a good solid battery.
That's a logo, Mitch.
The logo.
No puffing, no nothing.
No puffing, no nothing. Gold bet.
Slogan.
There it is. And
Gold bet,
Amazon's,
good deals.
Amazon's choice too. And I'll tell you what, if there's a problem with this thing in a month or 2 months or whatever with Amazon, they'll take them back.
I know.
These other people don't do so. And you get them in 2 days. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait to get them from China. Race Day Quads yeah, they're good batteries. Race Day Quads is good. They've got a 1500 4-cell 100C. They're getting 3 for 60 something bucks. So they're good batteries too. But you got to know that they're just repackaged batteries using the same cells as maybe these guys are using. Because I know that Race Day Quads doesn't have a lithium battery factory. They're all buying their cells from one of maybe a half a dozen big manufacturers of lithium cells.
And boy, I'd love to know who they're buying them from.
Well, you can't. E-Drone says I have a pet monkey. That's Eric. That's Spank. Spank the monkey, and that was Spank was named by iSpike and the crew. Every once in a while, he decides he wants to be the star of the show. You know.
Hey, Art. Mike wants to know: is that getting shipped to you?
Yes, it is. Yep. Kelly's shipping the RoboMaster to me. So just waiting. Hopefully it'll be here either today or tomorrow. Who knows?
It thought it was real. How many people have said that to you, Mitch?
It is a video of a real monkey, so it looks real. I see we got Kenny Cardoza's here. PD Tech, welcome. Good to see you. We got about 5 or 10 more minutes. 5 minutes for Art's got to bail.
Yep. We got to.
Actually, I'm going to bail because I got to take a coffee break and another kind of break.
Yeah, I know. His Highness is coming. Is coming on at 8 o'clock.
Who's that?
Ken Herron.
I go there, but I'm not a religious.
I go to watch. I mean, I don't go in the chat. The chat is ridiculous over there. It's just too many people.
Yeah.
But I know for some reason, Art, we got to slow you down. You're not going to miss anything. You're not going to miss anything if you miss.
I'm hooked on that 1 second song.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen in the first 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah, but I like the news.
You know what? What's his name? Kelly Green?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Kelly.
pretty damn good on those 1 second.
He's friggin' amazing. Are you kidding me? He's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
No, Mike, I didn't mean it like Ken Who to be mean. It's just that don't even ask me what today's date is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I like to see Ken do heavy metal 1 second songs. I bet you that would stump
Yeah.
Kelly Green. And I would be like, yeah, I know
Listen,
that
those
one. I
guys
know.
were in the radio station business. Of course,
Yeah.
that's what they did for a living, was play
Yeah.
those songs all day. Of course, they'd know those songs.
Oh, Kelly was in that with him. See, I don't even know that.
Yeah, Kelly was
Yeah.
his partner on the morning
Yeah.
show.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't see how out
Yeah.
of the loop I am.
If you watch the
Watch,
show,
You come here for your
Jim,
Ken
you
Herron trivia.
know.
You come here
Hey.
for your Ken Herron trivia.
He's not watching my stuff. Sorry.
You know.
Yeah, I know, but he's entertaining. He's
Yeah,
entertaining,
he is.
and kudos to him for getting into the FPV stuff. Because I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, I think that any of you guys that try out the FPV, and even if you just
You know how much like crashing I'd be doing.
no,
I'd be
just
spending
but
more
you
time.
get one of these things.
Yep, that's right.
And you can't break it. I mean, you just get one of these things and get a goggle. It's got everything that's in this little drone. It's got the video transmitter, everything. It does everything the bigger drones do. And you can fly it around in the house in stabilized mode.
Yep.
And wear the goggles and learn how to fly it, and then take it outside and fly it. The only thing you might do is lose it in a tree or something. But as far as hurting anybody with this, or you could crash it right into your head full speed. You'd never, you'd go, what was that, a bug?
I've seen your videos, Mitch, when you first started out with that.
Yeah, I still fly it around the house. I just don't post videos anymore because who wants to see the same old shit? But I fly under. I try to fly under the chairs, and it's fun, and it's good training. And the simulator, man, is where you put your time in to really get a feel for this.
Which one are you using?
A Velocidrone. Velocidrone.
All right.
And I ought to maybe do a live stream with the simulator.
Well, maybe how to use it,
and show everybody how to use it, and talk about it. But it's real easy, and that new radio that I got, that Jumper T16, works.
I mean, there's a lot of dummies out there like me who don't know how to use it. But you know what? I remember that day that you and Mel were trying to catch each other on the simulator. You guys were both flying.
Oh yeah,
that's difficult as heck.
Yeah, but you learn. I mean, I'm old and I can learn. Okay, and my reflexes are nowhere near what they were when I was half my age. But I'm learning and I'm doing it. And, you can do it. You just have to. It's like anything else. It's like saying to somebody who's never ice skated.
Oh my God, my granddaughter roller skates, and I'm on my butt half the time.
Right, but eventually, or riding a bicycle, sooner or later, you'll gain the hand-eye coordination and the muscle memory and everything, where you all of a sudden you find that you're doing it. And that's the same way with FPV. Jerry says that the Ready to Fly Tiny Hawk.
There's two different ones?
Well, there's one that comes in a kit with a radio and goggles, and it's $150 for everything.
Joe C says he's just spent an hour on Velocidrone while listening to you.
Yeah, it's a terrific way to learn how to fly.
Right.
So you guys, if you think you're going to like it, and then I would go ahead and get get the Jumper radio instead of.
Well, that was cheap, wasn't it? Under 100 or something?
$159.
$159.
And it's the equivalent of the $500 freestyle
QX7
Horus 10. No, the Horus 10. The Jumper has got the big. It's got the big color screen that the Horus has. Look at the screen on this thing.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
I mean,
that's not like that regular.
No, it's a full color screen, and it's the same as the Horus 10, which is their $500 radio.
Yep.
Now, who is that again?
Jumper T16, and
all I want to do is control a two-way gimbal.
What you could do with this, but this thing is like 16 channels. I mean, there's not much you can't control with this. And like I said, it binds to virtually anything. It's a great radio. I wish it was out when I bought my Tyrannus. I would have bought that instead. But
Well,
it wasn't out. And
like I said, I want to put the FLIR View Pro on a gimbal and control it. So I could get that to control it. And then I'll come to your house to program it.
well, we can give it a try.
I won't know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, Jerry, I agree that if you really just want to find out if you're going to like it, that little kit is fine. But for me, I knew I was going to like it, so I just bought the Tiny Hawk by itself and then used my regular radio and goggles with it, so I wouldn't have to throw away the cheap radio and goggles. And as it turns out, not using the radio, I bought the Joe C likes his X90. The X9D is a great radio, and I don't blame you for not wanting to set up all your models. I did what I did since the jumper is OpenTX. I just copied. I went into the OpenTX companion and copied the models from one radio to the other, and then went in and only had to change a few settings. Now on the radio, the models that I have that use the R9 module, I didn't even have to rebind the receivers.
Yeah.
But since the jumper has a multi-protocol module in it, you have to set that up. So you'll have to rebind the receivers in those quads.
The binding, I'm going to be binding to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
all right, guys. Well, it's time to call it a night anyway.
Okay. Thanks for having me, and we'll see you in a few then.
I mean, I don't.
Mitch and Jim and Mary Lou and Joe Allen and all the John Boy and everybody. So hey, thanks for having me on. Fun as always. So.
All right, Art Carlson, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, take care.
Okay, you're out.
Bye.
I always wanted to do that to somebody. Oh, so everybody's leaving. What's the matter? It's a good thing I'm a good guy and don't stay on, because, I would hate to cost Ken Heron all of his viewers, because everybody'd rather be over here with me. How many I got left? Still 12 of us. Wow. Anyway, Jerry, Carlos, and Tomas, Mike Roche, PD Tech, Joe C. Scouse Adventures. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by, man. I saw you somewhere at one of the other streams, and glad you stopped by. Just noticed you there. Give you a wrench before we leave. Props off. Same to you. Thanks for coming in. Give you a blue wrench as well. And thanks for coming in, guy. I'm sorry I didn't notice you, but always happy to have some new people stop by. Kenny, good night. Take care. And with that, I think we're going to call it a night and save something to talk about for the next time. So I hate to shut a stream down when I got people watching, but it is 8 o'clock, and what I got left of my voice, we'll try to take care. Spike, good to see you, mate. Thanks for stopping in. And you had a wild time last Saturday night, and maybe you'll get to some of that stuff you have on your list this Saturday. Anyway, take care of yourself. Have a great day. Let me bring in my music. There we go. And with that, I'm going to say, take the rest of the day off, man. Go out and play with your drones and have yourself a great, great day. And now I'm going to turn it over to Spank so he can say goodnight.